How many kids do you have?
All together, I have 9. Yeah.
No way. Damn. Okay.
I don't drink or smoke, so.
That's a much better hobby. That's funny. Was music your plan B? Because, I mean, the plan B turned out great, but was that what happened?
I was good in music, but I didn't know I was that good until I actually got into it when I got hurt. So people got to realize you might think you're going one direction, but God will put you in another direction. But, and you might be sad about that. You didn't make it in that. So when I got hurt in basketball in college, I felt like I had failed everybody, my family, because I was supposed to go to the pros. I'm thinking I'm on my way. I better take care of my family, get them out the ghetto. But when I got hurt, and I tell people all the time, let your failures take you to the next level. Let your failures take you to being great. I remember my grandfather saying, look, son, don't sit around here and just keep worrying about what happened. You got to go make something else happen. And so I had to find something else that I love. And God opened up a bigger door. I thought this door was going to open. But most of my friends that played basketball at the time I played, I mean, they didn't make that much money playing basketball in the NBA. And what I was able to do, it was just unheard of. And by me going to college, educating myself, and I think it's all about education, because I could have easily just been in the music business, but without the right education, I don't think my mindset would have been the way it is today, in the way I was thinking about stuff and thinking about business.
But what's so interesting to me is that so many people, if they think they're going to go one way and it doesn't necessarily work, they dig their heels in and they're like, no, this is what I said I was going to do when I was 18. And they don't realize that the universe is trying to take them in a different direction.
Yeah, well,
that doesn't mean failure. It could mean the ultimate,
I mean, it's not a loss, it's a lesson.
Right.
And sometimes God put you on a different trail. And that was just a part to get you to that other side where you need to go at. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take the journey. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. I said, you know what? Let me take this journey and see how far I could take this.
Everybody that I asked about you,
yes,
they all said the same thing, that the number one thing that comes to mind when your name is brought up is that you were never owned by a record label, that you always owned your own music. That's the number one thing that everybody thinks of when they think about you. Was that part of the plan too, or was that a result of not getting signed to a label? How did that happen?
So it happened with my grandfather. He was in the war. And when he came back home, they were supposed to give him $10,000 to go to buy a house, and they never gave it to him. And so he always told me, say, grandson, you need to start your own business, start your own army. And that's where the whole military, the no limit, the camouflage came from. And I knew that I had to be independent. I had to be, if I'm going to build something for my family, that started as a kid to where my grandfather instilled that into me, to where, like, we're not going to be able to make it in their system. We have to create our own. It just stuck with me. And I've always went against the grain to say, I can't just work for a paycheck, because I lived in a project with 16 people in a 3-bedroom apartment. So I had so many people, so many mouths to feed. And I'm like, I can't do that with a regular paycheck. I have to own this. And I've always kept that mentality, to where when you look at African Americans and Latinos, we don't own anything. So that was my mindset, to change that narrative, to be able to own my own masters, to be able to put other people on, to build other executives, not just walk into a company where I'm getting a job. I'm walking into one of these companies saying that I'm going to own this company. I'm going to be able to put my people on. So that was the importance of that. And the education and the knowledge part. We search and seek and pray for money, but we don't search and seek and pray for knowledge and information. That's going to get us to our destiny.
Yes, I love that you said that, because I pray every night with my son. And we never ask for things. We say thank you. and we pray for wisdom, we pray for clarity, we pray for love, we pray for health, but
Yeah,
we never ask for things, because
yeah,
thank you is the most powerful thing that attracts things to you.
yes.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, when you bless others, blessings will come. People say, well, what's your most important job? My most important job is to be a servant. It's not about being a boss. It's about being a servant, being able to serve my community, being able to serve underprivileged kids, being able to serve the elderly, and being able to educate the next generation. I think that's my most important job.
Yeah. So your kids are lucky to have you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm lucky to have them too.
Oh. um, so I want to ask you about, because you started off in an interesting way. So you opened for Tupac Shakur at the beginning of
Yeah,
your music career. What
yeah.
was it like being his opening act?
It was crazy because everybody wanted to see Tupac. They didn't care about me.
Oh.
I'm like, I was happy to just have somebody jump up and being on the road with Tupac, I said, I'm gonna turn this one. Because one guy was just going crazy for me in the audience. I said, I'm gonna turn that one fan into millions. And
Okay.
to be able to sell 100 million records later is just incredible. Knowing that if you believe in something, you don't have to be the best, because I wasn't the best at first. I had to get in the studio, I had to work hard. Like basketball was my life at first. So I had to
Right.
really learn music, how to do music. I was living in the West Coast, and I had a Southern slur to how I talk and everything. So it's like I had to get myself better. And they say the best way to do that is staying in the gym. So I had to stay in the gym, yeah, which is the studio, and get
Mm-hmm.
better. So don't be afraid to outwork everybody. What I did was I outworked those guys while they was partying, playing, going on the road,
Mm-hmm.
just having fun. I was in the studio working. I said, while they sleep, I'm gonna be working. And I got better and better and better. And that's what life is about, putting in the work. Nobody gonna give you anything. You got to go out there and take your opportunity, create your own opportunity. And that's what I did.
What did he think of your music? Because like you came from the South, you weren't from New York, you weren't from California. What did he think of your music?
At first, they didn't understand it. And then they start catching on. They start listening and saying,
Mm-hmm.
as we getting into some of them Southern markets and seeing how people was gravitating to my music, they started listening, start saying, man, it's all right. And in the end, Tupac really started liking my music. So that was a blessing, because he was the biggest star in the world in hip hop at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And to have him jamming to my music, I knew that I was on my way.
Okay. Considering history, like considering what happened to him and what
Yeah.
happened to Biggie and all, what are your thoughts on some of the feuds that are going on now, like between Kanye West and Drake, and things that are becoming really public and kind of crossing the lines of safety?
Yeah, well, I don't think people realize that they have all these fans that might even be crazy and take this in their own hands. So we got to watch what we do. It's a lot of selfish people out in the world, and it's a lot of snakes in the world. So you got to watch it. I think when you're at this level and you're making this type of money, even the young artists losing their lives in hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
which is sad, is like, we got to be thankful and take this as a blessing and grow. I'm just saying to myself, I think it's the people around you. You got to have people give you better advice. You got to hang around better people. And also you got to be able to be your own critic, to where you got to do what's right. You got to hold yourself accountable. I always had self accountability, and start thinking about what you say or what you do, how it affect and how it hurt other people. And you wouldn't want that to be happen to you or your family. I just think it's so much stuff going on in the world that we need to be focusing on that than this negativity. When everybody is making money, we should be happy right now. A lot of this self-hate. And I also said, my most important thing that I look at life, I said, I would sit in a sewer and eat cheese with rats than sit at a nice restaurant and drank champagne and lobster and steak with a snake. And I think that's what a lot of us are doing. Like, we are sharing our wealth. We're around the wrong people that's really are snakes. And those people are going to come back to bite you because you can't see it. And I think we have to change the way we think. We got to start thinking about love instead of hate. That's the only way we can get past this and appreciate what we got. If you get to that level of the game, like some of these artists have made it, like, why lose what you have? And once you get killed or go to jail, I mean, there's no turning back.
Right. If you could travel back in time and either bear witness to or alter any famous historical event, where would you go and what would you attempt to either change or just be there to witness in person?
The Martin Luther King shooting. Like, I feel like he left too soon. That guy was on to something incredible. I have so much respect for him. I just think sometimes, imagine what if somebody would have told him not to go to the hotel. He didn't have that much security with him, whatever. Like, it just didn't seem right. Like, right. I feel like we had so much more to learn from him. So, and this guy was nonviolent. He wanted to bring people together, Blacks, whites, Asian, Latinos. Like, I've never seen a person like that. Right. And not saying he was perfect, because nobody's perfect, but just what he stood for when he brought people together. And it's the reason why we able to have our freedom today and being able to work with each other and not be judged by color. So okay. I think that's what I would want to be a part of.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and he was a dreamer. So being able to have somebody to dream like that, is incredible.
And what do you think you came into this life as Percy Miller to learn? And what do you think you came here to teach?
Well, I think I came into this world to be a student of the world. I'm constantly learning every day and getting better. Mm-hmm. And I also realized I came into this world to be a father to my kids, and everybody, when they use that word father, it's different from being a daddy. I have a lifetime commitment to my kids, and even as a single dad, it's like you gotta stay focused on your kids. Like, my kids mean everything to me. And
you have how many kids do you have?
I have all together, I have 9. Yeah.
No way. Damn. Okay.
I don't drink or smoke, so.
That's a much better hobby. That's funny. So P, what is it, because I know you have so many different businesses, you do so many things. What is it about acting and acting on film that appeals to you, that you're doing a lot of that now?
Yeah, well, I think when you get to a certain level of life and you want to bring projects to life. So I think for me, it's almost like being 2 different people. So I could go be a businessman on this side, and I could come back and utilize my acting skills and my fan base and just feeding them. Is connecting to audience and letting people see me different ways. Like in this movie, I played a mayor, and this is a suspense thriller. And to be able to let people see me in different ways. The next movies I want to play like police chief or an army person or something like that. Like I want to go beyond just the regular what you think you would see me in a movie. I'm even thinking about like how Ernest Schwarzenegger played kindergarten cop. I want to do like a movie like that, like in an elementary school. I don't know being a teacher, a principal, or something. I don't know, but I'm looking at that. I like to go out of my regular character. It's fun for me being able to portray other people, you know, real life stories, some fictional, but just being able to bring that character to life. I feel like that's another talent of mine. So it's a blessing.
Do you feel at home on a film set? Does it feel natural?
Yeah, it feels natural. I feel good. I feel like, you know what? I know that it's a serious job. I know that you got a lot of other people on the set that are depending on you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be prepared and think about others and knowing that you have to have your stuff together because other people, we have to make these movies in a certain amount of time. So you have to be a professional. So yeah, I love it. When I'm on the set, I think this is my next thing. I kind of had a taste of it in my youth, but I feel like now I could play some of those roles. I could play a daddy. I could play whatever. So I'm ready now.
Okay. So tell me about the plot of Unknown, and you guys can go one at a time. So P, will start with you, and then we'll go into LazRael. So tell me about the story of Unknown.
Yeah, when you think about Unknown, it's like I said, it's a suspense thriller, but it's also about a relationship. It's also about trust and faith in somebody that his girl don't believe him what's going on, and in all these murders that happened years ago, how this all came back. So nobody really know what's happening, and I think when you look at the movie, could be scary. It has a great plot to it, but at the same time, you know, people are going through stuff like this all the time because your mind constantly trying to figure out, is this true? Did this happen? Mm-hmm. When did it happen? So, I mean, for me, I think that's what it's about for me. When I think about the story, it's about, you know, even a couple trying to figure out, do they trust each other? Is this guy, what he's saying, is it real? And it starts showing in life, like, how do you really believe in a person you with? And
like, do you ever really know somebody?
Exactly. That's what it is. So that's the unknown.
Yeah. So, LazRael, do you want to jump in?
I think that Pete pretty much said it in a nutshell. Basically, this writer who's going into his second novel basically just started receiving these calls, mm-hmm. and he basically becomes obsessed. He get these calls from these random people, and because based like Pete said is it's this thriller that is it real, is it not real? He basically loses his grip on reality. You're gonna go through a journey. And then what you think is you wonder, is it really real? And basically the calls are from the unknown.
But he goes down a rabbit hole trying to solve these murders.
Yeah, he go down the rabbit hole trying to put together the pieces to this.
But does it have anything to do with, because it's about an author, does it have anything to do with the book he's writing? Does it start off as research for the book that he's supposed to be writing?
Because he's actually on his second novel. He's on another novel. So he had some semi-success with the first novel. Mm-hmm. So he don't get a chance to really get into the second novel because he get distracted.
So this is what he was covering in the first one. Is that what it is?
What's that?
Is that like, were these murders, is it something he initially researched to write the first novel? Is that how it starts? Okay, so this is just like something that just takes him away from his career entirely.
This takes him away from his career, yeah.
Okay.
So
what is the mayor, like, what is the mayor, how does the mayor come into play? How does Peace character?
Well, the mayor is the head of the town. He basically is the one that kind of, you know, we have cast like with Judd Nelson, with, like I say, Master P, Denise Boutte, Tom Sizemore, mm-hmm. Hal Ozen. And basically the mayor is the one he want this done. He want this over.
Okay.
So that's what America comes in at. And you know, and like I say, and he's the one that's over the whole sheriff department. And you got this small peaceful town, and he ain't trying to have that.
Got it.
So he wanted the end, because, you know, like I
Okay.
say, P does an amazing job, and I mean, he just basically, you know, want to keep it together.
Right. Yeah. That's like, yeah, it's politics. Yeah,
It's
we don't
politics,
want a scandal.
but his re-election.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So,
But it takes people on a journey, and it takes you to a place where, you know, you're gonna ask a lot of questions, and who is it? It's basically a mystery thriller. Gets pretty intense, and it's gonna be great for this Halloween season.
okay. And what do you guys each think about how COVID is reshaping the film industry in general? Because everything now, well, not everything, but so many films now are being released in theaters and streaming at home at the same time,
Yeah.
because so many people now are staying home more often.
And
And people see now that they can do that. I mean, what do you think about that?
I think it's great because people are being able to enjoy these movies and getting a chance to see it when they want to see it.
Mhm.
So streaming is so important, and we focusing on that.
Yeah, like see my screen right there.
Yeah. That you'll be able to go to Amazon and see this movie Unknown, and it's incredible. I think it's the new wave, and a lot of people want to be safe during this pandemic. This is a great way to put movies out now.
Do you think that it can be as exciting? Can a movie release be as exciting of an event and also as profitable when people, the majority, elect to watch it at home instead of in the theater?
Well, we're gonna have to adapt to the times, and that's what we are doing, because everybody has a choice. Some people still want to go to theaters and see films, but some people are more comfortable right now saying, you know what, with everything that's going on, I'd rather be at home and be safe. So this is about safety now,
Right.
and I think that yeah, a lot of these movies are not going to make the money they normally would make, but when you look at the streaming now, I mean, those numbers are about to start going up. So it's just a new way. We got to get prepared for it and adapt to it. I think a lot of people are adapting to this now.
Okay. And do you guys plan to keep working together on
Yeah,
different
absolutely.
projects?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is there anything in the works?
Well, we want this one. Like,
Yeah.
we definitely got a lot of, you know, as filmmakers and producers, you always got other things on the slate, but we just want to definitely make this one as successful as it can.
Yeah.
Okay. And LazRael, what is your favorite thing about directing P in a movie?
Flexibility. I mean, you could tell P, you know, he's maybe because, like, as a businessman, he wears so many hats. And when you wear different hats, it requires flexibility, a lot of flexibility. And it was, you know, because I worked with him a little bit in the last film, but it was good to really, because this is a different character. And I always say in film, there's no such thing as a small role. It's about, you know, you can bring so much to it. And then I loved it about him that he was flexible. And as a director, I'm always like flexible in the sense that, you know, I could write it on paper, what I think the person would say, but when you give a soul to that character, it's you. You tell me what he would say. And watching P bring it to life, and he was like trying different things. I'm like, wow, I like that. So I could tell as he got into it, the character just came to life. And I think that when people see him, they, you know, it'd be like, wow, you know, I really enjoyed it. It was great.
So my last question about that is, because he's used to being the boss in so many situations, is he easy to direct? Does he take direction well?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think it comes down to trust, and I could tell that he trusts me in this situation, and because at the end of the day, with me being the director, I want the best thing for the project.
Right, of course.
It was easy. I had no complaints. I think that he went over and beyond. It's always so cool when you can see the executive producer also be a student. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it was great. It was an
And
honor.
it's all about being a team player. When you're making a film, you have to know that this is we bringing something to life. So it's never about me. And I learned that from playing sports. Is no I in team. Like I
Right.
just thought that we had a great group of people, that everybody was professional and everybody did their job. So when I get on a movie set, it's not about me being a boss or the executive producer. If I'm an actor, then I have to play my role. And you have to let the director play his role, and everybody else in the cast have to play their role if we're gonna win. And I think that's what it's about. You have to be able to adjust. And we talked about this earlier. To be a good teacher, you got to be a good student. So I'm constantly learning to get better. And I think that's what makes the acting I know that I'm on my way to doing some great things and bringing some great projects to life. So because I want to keep getting better. Even when you look at somebody like a Samuel Jackson, I mean, he didn't get stronger in his game until he was older.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Another great example.
So so this is I think that it's gonna open up a lot of doors, but it's also about trusting the process and getting better and getting better and getting better and putting the work in. So this is about growing for me. I don't judge this from my music to nothing else that I've done, my business. I take acting serious because I want to constantly keep growing and getting better in it.
Okay. And an Unknown is being released. Is it being released October 1st?
Yes.
October 1st, yes.
Okay. And is it going to be in the theaters? Is it going to be streaming? Where is it going to be?
It's going to be right now. Pretty much, we got a exclusive deal right now where #Unknown going to be released on Amazon Prime.
Amazon. Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be released on Amazon Prime.
Awesome.
And then through them, we'll be able to have some secondary outlets people can also find, like Google Play, iTunes, things like that. But it's primarily the exclusive thing is with Amazon Prime.
Okay, so #Unknown, October 1st, Amazon Prime.